Peace and greetings, everyone. About to be starting. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. About to get learned. We're doing a nice lecture. Of course, we're going to be doing some demos. We are just getting set up. So if you're trying to get into NFC hacking, credit card hacking, reading, writing of different devices, you're in the right place. Peace and greetings, everyone. Let me get the screen set up. So these are some of the devices we're going to be looking at. Grab a seat. You guys are late to class. Freaking late. Let's get plugged in. Got quite a few devices. Got some blank NFC cards. This is your credit card here that we're going to be simulating. Let's make sure to tap that heart. Not going to be going in too deep, but we're going to be showing you guys a little bit of something. And then later on, I'll show you guys what I'm working on. Hey! Right on time. We just got started. Over 50 people are in here. Thank you. And the music is brought to you by Google AI. So, peace and greetings, everyone. Class is in session. When I go live, you stop everything. Thank you. So today, we are going to be unlocking the secrets of RFID, NFC, and custom devices in cybersecurity testing. I am Cypher, CEO and founder of Little Hacker. And today, we're going to be going over quite a few things. Some of you guys might know different NFC devices. Wow, over 200 people. Make sure to tap your screen. Class has just started. There's a lot of people who might know of different things like NFC tools, and you might not know anything about NFC, but you've used it before. This stuff should look familiar, but we're going to try and break it down. Before we jump into some custom devices that I have made over the time, we are going to start from scratch. So we're going to discover how NFC and RFID technologies impact our daily lives. So let's learn about security vulnerabilities and how custom ESP32 devices like these can test and demonstrate these concepts. So first, we got to understand the basics. NFC, what is it? First of all, thank you guys for coming through. It is amazing on a Saturday. People are trying to get learned on this stuff at the only live hacking TV show on TikTok Live. So first we have near field communication, or NFC. So this is very short range, operates at 13.56 megahertz, and it's used for contactless payments, whether it might be, like we're going to demonstrate here a little bit later, with your phone, with your tags. There's a lot of different ways to interact with NFC. So next we have something called RFID, and that's what these modules will be interacting with. So these are varying different ranges, but usually kind of the same range as the NFC. But there's a few different frequency bands. So we have low frequency, high frequency, and ultra high frequency. So RFID is more so used for like inventory tracking, toll collection. Whenever you're going under a bridge to have your tag scanned, it's able to do it from super far away because of some of these special technologies. Are you going to record this and post it? Yes, I repost all these TikTok lives when I can on my YouTube. You can check the link down below. My YouTube is booming. That's where the long form content's at. And I have a community too as well, a free community. And also a whole bunch of awesome resources to keep getting into this stuff. So let's look at how these technologies work. So it's very interesting. This is pretty much a computer. When you look at your credit card, there's no battery, right? There's no battery, yet somehow whenever you tap to pay, some electromagnetic magic happens to allow, whether it's a device like this, to activate and read or do a whole bunch of other stuff. So both RFID and NFC uses electromagnetic fields for communication. There's actually a small little coil in there, and whenever two devices come in contact, it charges the coils in this NFC, and it basically turns the computer on in this chip. Really cool stuff. And that's what allows the data exchange of information wirelessly between these devices. But where my research comes into play is how can an attacker come in between that data exchange? I'm working on currently one government contract that involves next level digital identity. In the near future, let me turn this phone on. I got a test app, but your driver's license, passport, a lot of digital identity stuff will be stored on your phone. So there needs to now be new research over these new protocols for your phone. So there needs to now be new research over these new protocols. For example, ISO 18013 is for digital identity. And yeah, like for example, let me turn on this test app here so you guys can see. So here's a demo app that I'm working on. And I'll show the other device it goes with. But essentially, you'll have your driver's license on your phone, and you could store a whole bunch of other different information. So it could be stored on a QR code or also on NFC. So I'm working on some next level stuff, which I'll share my research, especially if you check out my Substack in my link tree. That's where I do all my deep dives on my more advanced research. So like I said, the power source of these passive tags use the reader's energy. So there's really no battery. And the active tags, if needed, those are the ones that do have batteries. So there's various security measures. It isn't as easy as putting one of these devices together and then just downloading some code and everything's gonna go all right. You have to crack certain keys, and there's quite a few GitHub projects. This is open source too, by the way. And the idea is that these will be able to crack certain RFID cards on the device. Like you're not going to have to take the data away, and do a lot of really interesting stuff with these, as we will see moving forward. So we have some common applications. So you see these everywhere. So everywhere you see any type of RFID or NFC technology, that means there's certain security implications and attack vectors that can happen. So there's a few different things I'm personally researching in these. And make sure you guys hit the... I want everyone to tap that screen. If you believe that hacking and cybersecurity and STEM should be on TikTok and not just some dude answering questions about some government jobs, I'm trying to see some real hacking, dude. I don't want to hear some dude talking about his 6-figure salary. Show me the stuff. Tap that screen. So I'm looking at various different vulnerabilities, right? The essence of this project is to make the best DIY open source card skimmer out there. I know that might sound very weird, but that's the game of where we're at in cybersecurity, We have the blue team that's working on the defenses, you know, the security engineers that work for Visa. Let me pull up. Hold up. I'm going to tell you all my enemies right now. Top payment processors in USA. Okay. So my competition, I am making the worst stuff. I'm making life harder for Stripe, PayPal, Square, Aiden, Shopify, Chase, Amazon Pay. Oh, just wait. The biometrics is coming too. I have a fingerprint scanner as well. Clover, WePay, Klarna, QuickBooks, WorldPay. I'm making life harder so they make better security. There's some other NFC chips as well that we're going to move into. But eavesdropping, attackers can intercept wireless communications between both devices. So an interesting thing about these ESP32s is that it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So in essence, if a skimmer is just right here, then it could transmit the data, whether it's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. There's also, as you see in some of the car key jammer videos I have, those 433 radios aren't just for jamming. They actually are used to transmit messages. So that's how you can take data from a device like this and literally shoot it hundreds of meters, possibly even close to a few kilometers with the right setup. So that's where eavesdropping comes into play. So the idea is that one of these need to be kind of close by, but I have a custom NFC module I made because a lot of people think there's a brick wall with NFC. So thank you guys too for coming in. Over 100 weird hacker individuals in this room. So what you're looking at here, you cannot find this on Amazon. You cannot find this on Walmart. This is the smallest NFC module you'll probably see. So this is, you can't find this too on Amazon. You have to go to a certain place. So this is the current Chinese manufacturer's best. This is the best they could do. And I said, screw that. And I made something smaller and better. And there's a antenna connector you can attach here. So I'm working with some people to make some next level 13.56 megahertz antennas. So technically, I could skim your credit card really from across, well, not across the room, but like from a foot away. I could scan pretty much all NFC type 2 to type 4 devices in a nearby radius. So that's like next level. That's like government black ops vendor shit that probably won't be open source. But that's the level you can take eavesdropping if you guys are catching on. You have to be really creative with this stuff. So next is cloning and spoofing. So you're not always just trying to skim cards. A lot of people use these as DIY RFID cloners. Like let's say you have a hotel business, a gym, certain clubs or businesses or whatnot. This is actually a super cost-effective means. So let me restart this. I'll turn one of these on. I know I've been talking a lot about these. I haven't even really demoed. And make sure to drop any questions if you guys have any questions. Like I said, I have 2 communities. I have a free hacker hardware club, which is pretty much a replacement for my Discord. Discord's over. And then there's the Hacker Hardware Academy where I have full lecture courses like these and show you how to build this stuff from scratch. We start from Electronics 101. Move to microcontrollers, and then we just jump right into it. But you're going to need to have tools like these moving forward in the academy as we do more research. So yeah, this is the Cypher NFC. As you can see, it has quite a few functions. It has an SD card to save data or whatever you might want to do. So yeah, you're going to click here, read. And now the reader is asking for a card. So we have a NFC 4. This is what I'm doing my main research on at the moment. Let me see. There we go. So you can see it captured the data. And just show you guys again, we'll use a different card. This is an NFC 2. And I put the labels on there because the manufacturers don't label them. So this shows the surface level data. And what you're not seeing, which I'll go into other lectures, there is a plethora of commands that are being ran in a second, like in a heartbeat. That's the beauty about these ESP32s, is that they run commands super fast. So by the time, I'll show you too the distance that is needed to skim your card. Just in case you guys are curious. Oh, press it down. Skip save. There we go. So I'll just show you guys. I'm going to stop when I get to it. So here we are. Here's your card. You think everything's okay. Think everything's okay. Oh, got you. Look how far that is, dude. That's with a stock antenna, bro. And I just showed you I have the custom NFC module. So when I attach my custom antenna, we're talking about, let's extend that range. We're talking about, you know what I mean? I'm going to say you can at least be a foot away once I'm said and done with this shit. So make sure you have an RFID protection wallet, most of all. Like if you're going on trips, you're going on vacation, you're on the bus that's crowded, the subway, make sure if you're gathering anything I'm saying right now, get a good wallet. Relay attacks. So a relay attack is when you take a signal and shoot it off to another device. A replay is when you take a signal and just replay that same signal. But a relay attack is really interesting because once again, these ESP32s, which I don't think you guys know which ones I'm talking about. Give me a second. If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, make sure to tap that screen right now. Actually, I'm going to pin this one. But yeah, we have these little guys. Mr. Newton, appreciate you, man. We have these little guys, but they have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And you can also attach, if you look in my recent videos of the car key jammer, that blue CC1101 radio module. Dudes in freaking like 10 years ago were skimming and shooting off credit card data over like a basketball court size range, bro. 10 years ago. So there's a lot of really cool stuff you could do with the replay attacks. And I'll be going into more of that probably a little bit later. But that's one way how an attacker doesn't have to be anywhere near. Do you make chronizin? I'm not sure. Pendulum pause. We have security in our credit cards. That device won't work. That's what you think. I'm just the researcher. This is your credit card right here. NFC 4, ISO 7816. Look it up. It's not that difficult to get into your card, my friend. I keep all my cards on Apple Wallet. That is all right for now. But like I said, this is your Apple Pay. Look it up. ISO 7816. Here we go. He said I can't scan your Apple Pay. Bullshit. What is that? I can't scan your Apple Pay. He said I can't scan his Apple Pay. I can't scan his credit card. He said I can't scan his credit card. Well, shit. How big is the range? Range is about a few inches stock. Denial of service. So this one's a little bit more difficult. I'm not gonna front. Because these cards operate at 13.56 megahertz. I'm still like working on. Then denial of service means like jamming. So the idea is that, let's say you're in a crowded area and there's a whole bunch of those Square Pays, there's a whole bunch of payment processing system. Let's say you're at like a Coachella. The idea is that a hacker or attacker can set off a denial of service device at 13.56 megahertz and pretty much shut down all payment processing in the area. Is it possible to make a bunch of ESP32 make a DOS? Yeah, like I said, I haven't yet open sourced that aspect, but we are working on that. How do I get on the dark web? Ninja AKG, Tor browser. You should try that and use a VPN. Have you ever done anything with UHF tags, commonly used for parking garages and inventory checking? Yes. Our UHF tags, I believe, are 125. But I do have readers for that as well. But yeah, that's what he's talking about. These are the long range tags. And there's a lot of vulnerabilities in these two as well, because warehouses and inventories and stuff use these. So, there's a lot of like interesting inventory hacking that could possibly be done. I'm just giving some ideas out there. I don't know. So we have some real world examples. Like you see a lot of people with the flipper zeros, copying their hotel keys and their work badges and stuff. And, that's pretty much how it's done. They have a similar chip in them like this. So we have hotel card cloning. Attackers can copy hotel card keys. This allows unauthorized room access. So that would be a little bit more difficult. I guess the attacker would have to come in literal contact with them. But contactless payment fraud, like someone said earlier, they were kind of skeptical that you can. They're kind of skeptical. You might think like, this is my Google Pay. Like how could a $3 device, $5 device just. And if you're interested in these NFC modules, I highly recommend you just check it out. This isn't magic. And I have code on my GitHub too as well. If you check the link in my bio, I have quite a few free guides. I have over 30 plus open source projects. Especially this is the Cypher PN532 if you are interested. Sorry, I'm not looking at the messages. RFID, yes. Which VPN do you recommend? I personally use Proton VPN, or you could check out NordVPN. But I like Proton VPN because they also have Proton Mail, Proton Storage. They have a whole ecosystem for free, pretty much. Why build your own? Aren't most already built for purchase? Yes, you can buy one for purchase, but the ones you buy for purchase won't allow you to hack credit cards. So you got to make your own and do your own research. But I'm going to be real, like these are going to be a lot harder. You're going to want to get, if there's any real ones out there, just take a screenshot of this. Trust me. I'll let you take a screenshot. PN71601. Great ethics behind your information. Thank you. Remind me of the Pinagachi. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some videos on the Pinagachi too. Hello, cold like Minnesota. Kinda geeky. I just joined. Can you give me a quick 101 beginner's guide? Yes, in a second. Wait, I'm new here. Looks interesting. This is, we're doing a tutorial, a free lecture on NFC and RFID 101. And this should lead, if you're interested later, into some NFC hacking. So the last thing, too, we want to look at is card key fob relay attacks. Now, this isn't necessarily with RFID, but as I will show in later documentation and videos, you can skim a card with a more modified version and have a 433 megahertz radio on top of there. But you have to do a few formulas. You need to encrypt the data and then into bits, and then send it over the radio module to another one and decrypt it. That's a little bit more advanced for this class. So we're going to go into some of the best security practices, and then I'll talk a little bit more about these devices that I have. So encryption, that's the first step that you try and get through. And there's quite a few different interesting methods. These operate under APDU commands, if you're interested. That is how these devices and your credit cards communicate, APDU commands. So then you go through authentication. So every credit card, and I'm writing a research paper on this, but every credit card has a specific type of storage system. If you're interested, you could look up ISO 7816. You could look up ISO 7816 architecture, I guess. Sean Brown, you better open up. What are you doing here? So many. Sean Brown, you better open up. What are you doing here? So many chances. Fascinating. Thank you. Glad you guys are liking this. So there's a few secure elements that come to these, especially the access control that you operate over. And that's just why it's like you need to start being a little bit more aware, especially if a lot of you work at offices or certain gyms or own businesses. Look into the access control that runs your device. I mean, anywhere I go, I try and acknowledge and see what the heck ID. It has quite a few things. It has a packet monitor, Wi-Fi sniffer, and like a few other cool things. And then we have this RFID module. Let me switch it up for you guys. And I designed these PCBs as well, if anyone's interested in custom PCB design. So the components of these is pretty simple. You have the ESP32 microcontroller. This is a C3. And then you could either use to start off, this is the RFID module. This is the RC522 to be exact. And they're down in the TikTok shop too if you just want to look at them, see what specs they are. And then the next step up, because this can only do like MyFair and a few other things. Would you recommend a Flipper Zero? I'm an electronics engineer, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a Flipper Zero. I make Flipper Zero boards, which I know might sound weird, but I don't have a Flipper Zero. I keep saying every live, I'll trade someone Project Starbeam for a Flipper Zero, you know, which my Starbeam costs more than a Flipper, and no one wants to trade. So I just make stuff, man. I'm African, so I'm cheap. You know what I mean? We're going to make ourselves a Flipper before we buy one. Where do they ship from? If you're talking about these modules, I'm pretty sure they ship from America. I'm not really that sure, man. But the key benefits about these, especially doing it yourself, it's super cost effective. It's customizable. You know, the Flipper Zero is cool for sure. But you know, I'd rather code my own computer. You know what I mean? It just feels better. And it's highly versatile. You know, I could just like I said, you could just pop this off like Legos. You know, boom. Versatile. Okay, can you do that with a flipper? No. And then when you're ready, you just put it back together. Come on, man. A 3-year-old could do this, man. Look at that. You just put together a hacker tool in freaking 2 seconds, bro. Come on. Make sure to tap the screen if you enjoy live hacker TV stuff. Okay, let's see some other questions. Thank you guys for being here. How long did it take you to learn all this? Well, I have an extremely heavy web and app development background. 2019, I got into crypto when it was 3K. I made a crypto bot. Fast forward, you know, crypto's dead. I don't really know what I went down a lot of rabbit holes. You know, I've always been creating, but I had to give up on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. I'm not giving them any more of my money. So I said I wanted to just completely transfer into electronics engineering. You know, and the funny thing is, like, it's all connected. You know, I'm making mobile apps that control this stuff. I'm making this stuff for government vendors who honestly put Apple and Google to shame. So, you know, I think everything just works out. Just do what you want to do. And that's all I can say. Thank you, Patrick. What language is this used to program with? This uses C++. Let me see if I can... I'll show you guys the bar. We'll open up Arduino here. No vibe coding today. We don't do vibe coding with C++. So for a beginner, I would say start with basic LED projects. Start with basic button projects. You know, so it's a pretty exclusive. Make sure to take a screenshot. But this is what we program it with. If anyone was smart, that was Project Starbeam's code. Hope you guys took screenshots. But I'm about to peace out. I'm about to go hang out with my wife in a heartbeat. But we're going to wrap things up. So once again, these are the modules if you're interested in this. I have a lot of really cool research on this. I'm just getting started, but as I develop, I'm going to keep open sourcing everything I can. But once again, it's open source, so if anyone has any interesting additions or would like to add some other stuff, I do random lives. I'm going to be honest with you. I should do it more. But key takeaways, NFC and RFID are embedded everywhere in your lives. And that's going to keep continuing, you know. So everywhere you go, there's security challenges. Amazon's having, you know, the tap with your hand crap, you know. Every other 7-Eleven you go to, there's an 80% chance there's a skimmer there and the cashier is in on it. So these technologies face various vulnerabilities and attacks can have serious consequences. Like I said, make sure you have the right tools. If you're going to be having cards, make sure you have it in safe, secure things like an RFID blocker wallet. Practical testing. Using these ESP32s It enables hands-on testing, and they help us understand and mitigate risks. That's really the whole point. And make sure to have ongoing vigilance. So security is never solved. Like I said, we're working on next level digital identity stuff on the phone. This is just a basic app that we're using to test. But if you want to look that up, this is like, I didn't have to sign an NDL. So I'm going to show whatever I want to show. But look this up. ISO 18013. MDL, mobile driver's license. Look that up because it's going to be in your phone like later this year. And there's going to be weirdo nut jobs with stuff like this, not stealing your credit card, but stealing your personal freaking data. All right, so stay vigilant. Thank you, everyone. Are there devices that can block or counterattack skimmers? Like I said, I want to say these, but I can scan through these. I can scan through RFID blocker wallets. Sorry, I wanted to save that for last. But I don't really know what to do. Just stay away from people like me. I can say that. Candy Geek, thank you. Michaelicious, thank you for coming in. Can you give me more information on the ESP32s? Yes, these are Bluetooth and Wi-Fi dual core. They have tons of awesome pins. Let me take this off for you. This is the smallest form factor that you could get, but normally they are in this size. And they have a whole bunch of different pins on them for you to connect stuff to. But these are my choice favorites. And this is just a custom board I made. But yeah, this is the stuff you can learn if you hang around Little Hacker long enough. You know what I mean? This here is a little packet monitor. They didn't really use this device. But yeah, I'm about to be heading out. If anyone's got any extra questions, ask them now, please. Sorry, just joined in case you already covered that. Patrick, no problem, man. Legend. What can I build with my Raspberry Pis? Well, I'm working on AI drone tracking with Raspberry Pis. This will be a different live. Right now we're talking about RFIDs. We're not talking about jammers. But I will have automated AI drone tracking assisted with Project Starbeam's drone jamming. So that's one thing you can do with Raspberry Pi. You can also run a crazy home network with your Raspberry Pi. Look into self-hosted projects with the Raspberry Pi, for instance. But if you're new here, we just went over a whole bunch of RFID stuff. I'm about to bounce out. It's been a fun little hour. But we're just going over cool little gadgets. If you are interested... Move. We have at the website in my bio. Before I go out, I'm going to do my little spiel. But you can check me out. Once again, if you go and check out my GitHub. Dude, GitHub is exploding right now. Okay, we got the Cypher Jammer. Make a Bluetooth jammer. What? Are you kidding me? Oh, there we go. Make a Bluetooth jammer. Why not? For free. Okay, what else he got? Oh, okay. He's got that NFC device that we just talked about. Word. So whenever I update this and whenever the code for the best DIY open source credit card skimmer is online, you can get it here. But right now it just has a few features. Okay, what else he got? Oh, he's got an even tinier jammer. What? Nuh-uh. Shut up. Yep. Dang, that thing's tiny. Yeah, you could build that. At Little Hacker, we do things a little different. And then the last thing I'll show, yeah, if you guys want the car key jammer, we got that here. So yes, go to the GitHub. There's a lot of cool stuff, but most importantly, I recently started a awesome community. If you're interested in talking with other awesome hardware hackers and cybersecurity professionals, we have awesome courses here. So you could join. We already got 7 people in the paid club, but we have over 60 people. We have about 60 people in the free club, and there's tons of free resources. The free club still has a lot of value. If you're looking into getting into CompTIA type stuff for your new career, I have a rack of free CompTIA books. You could just join, download the books, and leave. I don't really care. But I'm just saying that I have a lot of really awesome, cool stuff. As you can see here, just a few of the courses we got going on over here. And if you're trying to make some money, you don't even have to join. You can affiliate for this too if you want. I want people to learn, make money as well, and just have fun. And then we have my Substack for those who like to read. I have a podcast as well as really, really deep dives. I'm talking about like deep dives on my research. So please subscribe to that. I just started a new Substack and it's already getting a lot of really nice attention. There's no electronics engineer doing this right now. I'm diving deep on the hacking stuff on Substack. So yeah, that's my spiel. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be doing, someone just joined the club right now. Heck yeah. Hey, Soki. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of lives. When I go live, I just said I want to do NFC today. We might be doing jamming tomorrow. When I go live, please stop everything. The only hacker TV show on TikTok live. Peace. Cypher. Signing out. I got to go hang out with my wife, guys. See ya. Love you guys. Peace.